leftovers, brain cake pieces that dropped onto the bakery floor, old episodes, off the rails episodes, and out of the norm content are wrapped up and refrigerated, but are still just as delicious as ever.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Brain Cake.
Yep. You come on in, get you a cigarette.
God damn it. We said we weren't going to open it talking about cigarettes, but of course it happens every time.
I wasn't talking about it. I was just saying get you one. That's all I was saying.
You know how, I'm Kiwi, by the way. That's Gunboi.
That's me. Yeah.
You know how that there are these podcasts and stuff that it's like Smoke With Me or whatever, or maybe like YouTubers are like Smoke With Me. We're like smoke cigarettes with us.
Yeah, just
kill yourself with us.
Coffee and disdain and a cigarette. That's what you need to watch Brain Cake.
Yeah, coffee and disdain. Fuck.
I think if you're real pissed off a lot, you need comedy more. I think that's like a common, like a lot of comedians are real pissed off people in real life.
Yeah, I seen Bill Burr on Joe Rogan, his most recent appearance on Joe Rogan. He was he seemed like he's reaching up. Fuck, yeah, Adam, put the counter down, man. I've mentioned Joe Rogan again, god damn it. But Bill Burr on there seemed a lot more self-critical. I was like, has this dude been in therapy or something? He's like starting to talk about how he's angry instead of just like letting the anger flow, which is his comedy. Not to say that Bill Burr is not hilarious anyway.
He changed though. He's a different style of comedian now. He does the rants and stuff, but he's got like this kind of, like he's got control of it.
Well, to have that outlook is hilarious, but probably not perfect for your mental state.
It's the worst. That's what kills people at 50 from fucking heart attacks.
Yeah, fucking Bill Burr die on stage doing a bit,
like
and
10 years from now.
I can do a terrible Bill Burr impression. You probably do better, but
here's him having a heart attack.
Here, just standing on stage. Guys, here's Bill Burr having a heart attack. And then you say it. You say that exactly like that.
It's like a Sam Kinison joke. That one where he's, that one where he's talking to the kid in the front row, and he's like, "You ever gonna get married?" And he says, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, if you ever do, remember this face." And he puts the mic down and he goes,
Yeah. Yeah, you got to do it in the crowd member's face. You can't just do the yelling part into the mic.
He got like this close to he got that close.
Actually, you should collapse into the crowd's lap from the stage, gripping your chest.
Red Fox, famous for fake having heart attacks.
Yeah.
Died in a meeting where they thought he was fake having a heart attack.
Yep.
And I just thought that's got to be the most poetic way for him to go, specifically. Comedian Red Fox being laughed at as he's having his first real heart attack in front of somebody. And everybody's just laughing and pointing at him.
Oh, my God. Poor Fox, man. Okay, so yeah, for the comedic element, yes, that's what we all imagine is them standing around laughing. What do you think the chances are that was actually the case?
They thought he was dancing. Nobody helped him because they thought he was doing a bit.
Oh my god. Yeah, everybody's just...
He clutched his chest and did, like he always did, but it was real.
Who would have known how would he have ever known that he was imitating himself having a heart attack so well? He was doing it so well the whole time. And maybe in the end, maybe it wasn't sad. Maybe it was a good thing because he was like, wow, I really did a guy having a heart attack right.
Like the dummy that cried Elizabeth.
What?
That was Red Fox, and probably a terrible one.
That sounds like a different language. What even
I said, like the dummy that cried Elizabeth. Well, Red Fox is kind of hard to...
Yeah, what does that mean? The dummy that cried Elizabeth?
He always called Lamont, you dummy, you old dummy. And
sounds like some strange book suggestion by an intellectual.
Whenever he was having a heart attack, he'd always go, I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Do you think there's any Red Fox fan fiction out there.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Women write fan fiction. Women love old men.
I mean, like, you could have audio to take it from, though, if you want to take it to the next level. I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Oh. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't know where you were going with it. You completely caught me off guard with that.
All the women out there named Elizabeth who have a Red Fox crush, man, that's for them.
All those women with that, love that limp, man.
What are the chances that a woman named Elizabeth would be the type of woman to have a crush on a Red Fox?
I think about 50 or 60 years ago, it'd been more understandable.
Yeah, been less likely, is that what you're saying?
But no, it would have been more understandable 50 or 60 years ago for a woman named Elizabeth to have it, because they'd have been like an old lady.
Yeah, when he was a thing. Yeah. The chances that a woman would even know Red Fox, at least a young lady.
The a woman's named Elizabeth now?
Yeah.
As a first name? Jesus. Poor kid.
Yeah, poor.
At least shorten it like Liz or something. I don't know, that's kind of porn story.
Yeah.
Liz.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
3-letter names.
Yeah.
Just
simple. Boom. Memorable.
I'm trying. No, I can't. I don't know. No.
I mean, what are some other fucking dead like Babs, Barbara? No Barbaras being made, right?
No Barbaras. No. Surprisingly, a lot of Mollys being born. Isn't that weird? Like, people rediscovered, like, the Irish name, like, Molly, and they're like, yeah, that's it.
I mean,
I want my wife to, like, go into this world knowing that she's going to get the shit beat out of her. With just this cursed Irish name.
But, you know, it's also associated with ecstasy.
Oh, that's true.
It's also associated with Molly Hatchet.
Oh, my God, that'd be a great porn star name.
What?
Molly anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That would be a really good one.
Just Molly Hatchet. Just straight up Molly Hatchet, bro.
That's true. That could be a very... But you would have to do something to legally differentiate. You'd have to do like...
It's a H-A-C-H-E-T without the T before the C-H.
Like a weird X in the middle of it that don't belong there or something? Instead of C-H, the X.
Holly Hatchet.
That's it. We figured it out.
You have to pay us for that if you use that. Yeah, if you use
Holly Hatchet, we trademarked it there.
We're coming for you.
Trademark. That's how that works. Yeah. When you want to trademark something, you go trademark.
Yeah.
No, you can't put those 3 fingers.
Oh my God.
That's why I did that.
God.
That's why I make the jerking off thing.
Yeah, I put the 3 fingers up in the OK symbol, and
now he's a white supremacist.
Now I'm a white supremacist.
Well, I always knew it was going to happen, and I'll tell you why. Is because we're in eastern Kentucky, and you can't get too far from the apple tree. You can't.
That's true.
Every one of us is racist backwoods chicken stranglers.
Actually, that was a recent news story around here. Is the Backwoods Chicken Strangler? Oh, the racist Backwoods Chicken Strangler.
That would be the greatest. Like. You put like a comedy horror movie where it's like a horror movie from the perspective of like a chicken. Oh my God, that would scare the shit out of liberals.
That's Chicken Run, dude.
Like anybody that's like vegan and vegetarian, that would be like a genuinely heart-pounding experience for them. We
just found out the 2020 horror movie that's going to hit.
Oh my God.
It's the time for animal
Chicken Run 2.
First-person animal horror movies. Oh my God, what if you did one of like a chicken in a fucking
oh man,
like factory, you know, like a fucking factory farm, and it's this chicken, and every day it's like you see it from the perspective of like they're popping a needle in you.
When I just think about what they do to chickens, it makes me not want to eat chicken ever again.
No, that's why I was vegetarian for as long as I was, is because the thought of that is really disgusting.
I gotta start killing some animals or something, because the way that they do it is bad.
Yeah. I mean, the only way you really can't, like, a lot of vegetarians, vegans get mad at people for being like, you eat this, but you disregard it and try to, like, not think about it. Because, I mean, you could tell most people, and especially in America, if any old person who eats meat and you say, like, could you kill your own meat? Most of them probably be like, no, I would rather not, you know.
Yeah, I think it's
you have to disassociate a little bit, I think, to
I say only. I was about to say I think it's only like 30% of people hunt. And I was like, that's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. But how many of those people are in the South dominantly?
I'd say it's like when you go down to the South, it's like 50% of the people hunt, and then when you go to other places, it's like 20.
Yeah. Well, the South is also the same people that, like, would raise their, like, chickens or cows or whatever. So...
Take that, fucking Northerners.
Yeah, we don't need goddamn Whole Foods. We go and get it ourselves from our garden, bitch.
You go and step on that chicken's neck, and then you rang it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's what you do in Walmart in our parts. Is there's actually the chickens are still alive.
It's a wet market. Yeah. It's not actually a grocery store.
Kentucky wet markets. The new Vice documentary.
It'd be the coronavirus.
What?
It'd be the corona instead of the corona. Where you ain't never heard somebody say a A on the end of somebody's name, I-E?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Sarah be Surrey and...
But they can't do that with corona because it's too serious. So they don't want to put the fun corona baloney spin on it.
Well, when there's an R in words, we tend to drop the first syllable of it too. So really, it's the roni. That's what it is around here.
That's true. I have heard the roni.
The roni.
Yeah, the roni.
I've heard people say it. That's Appalachian. That's our own language.
I mean. Yeah, Coroni Baloney, we're going to trademark that too. How did you do it?
Yes.
I did it. I did the thing.
You have to also say trademark.
Oh, trademark.
You have to look into the camera dead in the eye.
Oh, trademark.
Oh, wait, that's not the camera. Fuck, I fucked up our trademark earlier. I was doing it to that camera on the laptop where we see ourselves, but not the camera that we shoot with.
We didn't get that, but we did get Coroni Baloney.
Coroni Baloney? We did get Coroni Baloney.
We trademarked that one correctly, right?
We did trademark Coroni Baloney correctly.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad we went through all of the proper measures to make sure that we trademarked it.
Well, legally you have to make sure you're covered. You know, people try and steal your shit all the time. Ask the famous thieves of capitalism, the Hamburglar and Swiper, the Fox.
Yeah, I mean they're bad dudes. I mean Grimace,
whatever the hell a fanny bandit
Grimace is not a nice guy either. I mean he's a fucking fat purple slob as far as I'm concerned.
Grimace used to be like a 3-armed bad guy, didn't he?
What?
He was a weird. Originally, he was a much different character than he was.
Ghidorah or something?
No, not. Isn't that the fucking from the kaiju movies?
It's a Godzilla enemy that has 3 heads, I think.
Yeah.
But it may have came from somewhere else first.
No, kaiju just means big monsters.
Oh, okay. It's amazing how much classier some things sound when you use language like a different language.
Could you imagine if we were saying shit like that in America? Oh, you watched the latest Big Monster that's coming out in the Big Monster movie?
That just goes to show you, though, like... the intricacies of language, like for real, like not every language perfectly translates, and it's kind of like what we were talking about with comedy and jazz musicians. That quote that I stole from Joe Rogan, Tom Green. He said, it's what's in between the notes, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of what language is. It's like, it's all the subtleties.
A lot of it is nonverbal. A lot of it's like your well, and I wouldn't say nonverbal, inflection and shit, diction, the way you're actually saying shit instead of the content of what you're saying. Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me? Just the words could be said like, when you look at it, when I said that, that's one of the ways. But
I looked at the screen for 1 second, and you said that. That's the immediate way to get somebody's attention is to say, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Just real. Anyway, really. Yeah. You can make it sound angry or sad though, and unless you were an English speaker, I don't think you would detect which version of it is. And you can also be like joking with somebody, be like, "You fucking kidding me?" Yeah. And they'd be like, "Oh, he's getting loud. He's mad." Yeah. Well, but I guess you'd be like smiling or frowning.
I was watching this video. I found this guy on YouTube. I haven't been logged in because I got a new phone. I haven't been logged into my YouTube, so I haven't been getting like my normal flow of recommendations. So I'm like starting from scratch. This is what somebody without a YouTube account who doesn't get on YouTube much is gonna see. But it is this YouTube channel where this guy like fights back against scammers. Like a lot. Is it wrong to say a lot of like phone call scams are like India based?
That's not wrong to say.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay, if it's true, that's all I need.
Yeah, all I ever get is an Indian dude saying Publishers Clearinghouse, and I'm like,
yeah,
no, I don't. I've never bought a magazine in my life. I don't belong to Publishers Clearinghouse.
I think it's called Scammer Payback is the channel, but like he has like a voice modifier, and he pretends to be like an old lady or whatever, and the video that I watched was the whole time he was like leading this scammer on, thinking that he had this old lady. The whole time he was in the scammer's computer deleting his files. So like he let him on for like 2 hours. I mean, they fucking wanted to send him to go get Google Play cards and shits to like send them money. Like, fucking, I'll stay on the phone with you while you go to Target. That's not uncommon, because another video I watched, they did the same shit to a real woman that the guy was helping. But I'm like, man, it was hard for me to fathom.
They prey on old people too.
Yeah,
a lot of old people get duped.
Yeah. I mean that was what.
Do you think that's because like it's different, like it wasn't around when they were younger, or do you think it's because like their brains are softening where they're older?
It's both, I would say. Like, and that was what I found myself wondering while I was watching it. It's almost hard to believe somebody out there would be duped when some of it seemed so obvious. I mean, Oh my God, that one video. And I'm gonna try to refrain from doing an Indian accent here because that just probably
I stopped myself earlier. I was very proud. I was like, this could go very bad.
That just seemed
so fucking funny. Their accents are so fucking funny.
Yeah.
There's not a single Indian accent that's not fucking hilarious.
I mean, the "thank you come again" is classic.
Oh my God.
Classic. Oh God. Now, classically horrible and terribly racist.
It's awful.
But
there's so much joy could be brought from something. It's terrible.
There was one of these videos, and he asked the guy who he was pretending to be an old man. He was like, what do you mostly use your computer for? And the guy said, online banking, recipes, and oh my God, dude, you could tell he was so excited. He's like, online banking? You do? Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. You do online banking. That's exactly what we need for this help that I'm going to give you. Like, God damn, it's horrible. It's horrible that these people are out here scamming thousands, like 50,000, 30,000, dollars out of these people who are completely helpless.
I think that the more that I think about it, I think that there were a lot more gullible people back in the day too. I think that some of them are still kicking around, some really gullible people, because my uncle, he got duped by something that wasn't a scam. My great uncle, the one that we were trying to figure out how he was related to me in speech, because he's married to my grandma's sister.
Yeah.
And he at one point was convinced that you could put duct tape on the back of your phone, and that you could get on the internet, but you wouldn't use data. Like your phone company couldn't tell
my God.
that you were using data. Because somebody had made a video about that because of everybody knows you can like put aluminum foil around your phone, you won't get messages.
Really?
Yeah, you can wrap I don't know if it's aluminum foil, but you wrap your phone in certain metals And it'll block the incoming signal.
Well, I know.
And they were like, some people are stupid enough to buy this. Look, we'll put a piece of duct and it looks metallic, and you put it on the back of the phone, and we'll say that it prevents the...
Oh, my God. Like, criminals, man. So many dumb criminals out there got caught after that shit caught wind. They were like, oh, fuck, I can do all the shit I want on here as long as I keep the...
Think about the old men who watched so much porn on data.
Damn, and got caught.
And got caught because of that,
Yeah.
What were you watching all these videos late at night for? What are they?
Why are you watching Holly Hatchet? Are you listening to rock and roll again? That music is evil.
When, shit, what the hell? I brain farted right there, man.
Well,
it was that other video, scam video.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it's not a scam. It's like a really elaborate prank played on gullible people on the internet. And what they did was they put a banana, they cut a banana in half, and they cut a kiwi in half. And they put them together, touching, skin on skin of the fruit, put it in a potted plant, and then they show what is pictures day by day of how a little vine would grow, and then a big banana sprout out of the bottom of it, and when you pull the banana out and you open it, wouldn't you know it, it's kiwi meat. And me and Lindsay and my dad were sitting there watching this, and my dad goes, I wonder if you can really do that. I've never let it go.
And thank God he fulfilled the purpose of such a video.
I felt so bad for him when he got duped for that.
What was your immediate response?
Me and Lindsay just looked at each other. Like, holy shit.
I mean, I think the only thing you can do from there is continue to...
Yeah, we didn't say anything to him. If we'd have said anything to him, the magic would have been gone. It'd have killed his dream.
Yeah. Well, what you should have done is bought him a banana and a kiwi and let him try for himself.
I should have told him, you know what, Dad, next time you think to, you try that out. And he'd have never went to the store and got the stuff. And he would have continued to dream about doing it for years and years and years.
I'm gonna grow kiwi meat one day. I'm looking up recipes. I'm writing some of them down, screenshotting some of them.
He one day wanted to make a product called bologna sauce. He thought that.
Now
was
I'm not
marketing.
out yet. I'm not out just yet.
No, I still think it's marketing gold. He ain't never gonna do it though. He ain't never gonna make no bologna sauce.
Huh? Yeah, bologna sauce.
He's like, yeah. If I just had connections to the food industry, I could make a product. If I had millions of investors' dollars and some capital to start this business.
Well, you know what? Maybe we need to make bologna sauce. I feel like if any place could accept it, it's our area. We don't even got to go somewhere to fucking sell that.
Roni bologna and bologna sauce. We could make
Roni bologna sauce.
Corner the market on everything.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! We already trademarked that, so we're like 9 or 10 steps ahead already.
And I've got bologna sauce in a note on a phone, so we're good there.
We're pretty much good.
That's as good as a trademark.
We'll do it.
Phone.
We'll talk about it in a few weeks.
You know, when you have it on a note on your phone, it's permanent.
Yeah, we'll talk about doing it in a few weeks.
You ever been to a notary before, had something notarized?
Did you? Okay, first before I answer that, did you understand that I was playing along as the guy? I was being the guy who's gonna do it, but he never does it. We were gonna talk about it in a few weeks.
I do now.
Okay, all right, just okay.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I wanted to make that clear. I didn't want you to go on thinking I was that guy. And maybe I am that guy to some extent, but
I'm that guy.
At least I'm self-aware. I guess.
Yeah, that makes all of the bad things I do okay.
Yeah, you can make.
I know that I'm doing them.
Right. You can make.
That does not make it worse.
You can make a terrible movie with no effort, terrible music, terrible anything, and as long as you say, "Hey guys, I know it ain't good," millions, instantly. Have I ever got anything notarized? Though is that what you said?
Yeah, like I took a notary.
Yeah.
It's never like in an office with like notary public on the door. It's always like at their second job
Yeah.
They're like somebody, you have to find them somehow. You have to like ask, hey, do you know a notary?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, no. And then eventually you get to one dude and he's like 700 pounds and he works at a gas station.
Yeah.
And he'll charge you $5 under what they normally would charge.
Yeah, Joey Todd does notaries, yeah. He, if you catch him in between fishing trips, he'll notarize you shit. Anything you need.
Him and Jerry Lou.
Yeah. Maybe that's like the... I was going to say, maybe that's the kicker. Maybe that's the job to have. But then I was like...
be a notary?
But then I was like, it's everybody's second job.
Yeah, everybody's like, they just do it on the side. It makes zero money. Nobody ever needs something notarized in a town like Hazard. So they just, every like once in a 6-month period, somebody will ask them.
Well, what's the process of notarizing something other than putting a stamp on it?
You put a stamp on it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well then... Yeah, I'd do it as a second job, too. That's easy fucking money. They pay a lot. You charge a lot of money for that shit.
I mean, it can't hurt.
You ain't in the hole for a long... You ain't gonna run out of ink in your stamp shit for 5 years.
Well, hell, that's I think they send it to you. Don't they send it to you? Ain't you like an official of the court at that point?
My God. Well, I'm gonna get to fucking be a notary person.
I'll be an accountant.
I'll be that guy.
I'll just be an accountant.
Yeah, but that's just... There's nothing exciting about that.
No, you go to work
Except for the money.
day, though.
Except for the money.
I feel like that's the one job around. It's got like 2 seasons where people actually use it.
Yeah.
But like it's the one job around here where like everybody needs you.
Yeah.
Everybody needs you to do their taxes. Nobody ain't doing them.
Yeah, you'll even though nowadays there are better ways to do it. Like the TurboTax and shit.
People still drive to H&R Block.
Yeah, and you really don't have to.
No.
But...
matter of fact, you could do it online through H&R Block, and it would cost the same, if not less.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of your gas.
Yeah. There's a lot of services that people don't necessarily take advantage of that...
Around here especially.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's like we're like 10 years behind at any given moment.
And it's like... You know, is it causation or correlation in the sense of like, are we behind because we do things like that, or does being that way just come with being behind? I guess it's like an interlocking.
It's lack of resources. This area is always. You know what they did?
What? I mean,
they said, "Ooh, Scots Irish people." Send them to the places where it's really hard to live so they die. They'll just make them like a buffer between us and the Indians.
Yeah. Well,
at least they speak the language. Jesus.
Actually...
People back in the day were so fucking racist against everyone.
Yeah.
All people.
Yeah, that's true.
If you weren't a WASP, you weren't American, by God.
You weren't even safe being white. How terrifying of a world.
What is crazy is they didn't it wasn't sophisticated. Like there wasn't a different reason why Irish people were bad as opposed to black people. They were just like, yeah, Irish, they look white, but they're actually black.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
They have the soul of fucking... They don't have, one thing that, I don't know what their soul is, but it's not American, goddammit. That's one thing it's not.
They based it on the shape of the skull. They said Irish people's skulls are shaped like black people's skulls. I was like, where are you getting all these fucking skulls? It's phrenology. They did like measurements on your head. Yeah, they felt bumps.
Well, we're the same creatures that like thought it was a good idea to cure mental problems by drilling holes in your skull. So.
Oh yeah, all you do is you take that ice pick and you stick it in right through here through the eye, and you just scramble it up and pull it out.
Well, this is the 100th person that's just been made into a potato after we drilled a hole in their head, but at least the schizophrenia is gone.
Hey, John.
At least he's not hearing voices anymore.
Do you think this shit works? Or is he still just crazy but like locked up in there with it? Oh, that's fucking dark, Pete. That's fucking dark. We've done this to so many people.
A conversation that was never had because anybody who was willing to do that probably didn't necessarily have the best interest of the person that, well...
Have you seen that where they go to the old-timey insane asylum?
I hear my dog outside, and I'm sorry for anybody else that hears it. Just let it be ASMR. Do what?
Yeah, it's called Bad Neighborhood.
Bad Neighborhood ASMR. Dog-filled Bad Neighborhood ASMR.
You gotta have somebody go, "Shut the fuck up!"
You killed my dog!
Oh, Lord. We are behind. By God, about 10 years. About 10 years. Whenever I think, what the hell is that?
It's a car going by.
Oh, that was a car. I thought
That's part of the ASMR.
It was them meteors. That's all.
That motor wasn't nearly loud enough, though, to be Bad Neighborhood ASMR.
No, it should have went... went back. Everybody, and then you hear the sounds of people ducking because they think that the car backfiring is gunshots.
Yes. Yeah. Were you going to say something a minute ago before I addressed the dog in the background?
What were we talking about?
I shouldn't have even brought it back to it. I should have just
yeah.
continued on.
Well, we're already here. Might as well splash around for a minute. You know,
Yeah.
when you get places you ain't supposed to be, you might as well enjoy it while you're there.
I mean, the dog is still going anyway, so it is still, it's part of the segment still.
Part of the segment. Yeah, when we clip it out, it'll be called the 49-minute snippet where a dog was barking.
Yeah. God. Yeah, let's really do that, actually. Let's take the episode where the dogs are barking in the back for the longest duration, and that'll be the title.
When I think about this show specifically, I think about noises in the background like rain, doggies. Yes. We can't be isolated for some reason.
Well, it's because
life goes on.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, wait, we're going to fucking get
And it's not about isolation. It's not about isolation. Our podcast is about inclusiveness of all noises. All noises. All noises deserve to be heard. Dog barks. Cat meows. Not gunshots. Those are bad.
Hey, wait.
Sizzling of bacon.
I thought...
Moving on. Sizzling of bacon.
All noises... I think that this is noisism, is what I think that this is, against the gunshots too loud. They make too much noise in the movie theater.
It's not noisism. It's protection of ears.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you got to protect. Yeah. When you say protect, it's a lot less bad than ism.
Yes.
That makes me not know how to feel about protectionism, though.
What is that?
It's like preservationism. It's like but it's like of the global market economy, like you're a guard of the market economy, whereas preservationism is like you're safeguarding the environment. But it's like sort of like what Teddy Roosevelt thought you should do.
Do you let them pour sludge in the waters in sacrifice of keeping, whatever's creating the sludge that probably benefits us in some way going?
Well, it's like, do you want to be the cops in the world's cops and robbers? Is really what it is. Like, you want to just be the top big dick at the party.
Yeah.
America's good at that. We killed the shit out of an Iranian, I'm pretty sure, scientist today. They were like, we think Israel's behind it. But then Iran's Ayatollah was like, America is preparing for war. And so I don't know about Israel doing it.
They should just put that on loop on all news stations. What you just said, that audio clip. America is what?
Preparing for war.
Yeah. Just loop that for 10 hours. America is preparing for war. Let's get amped up, dude. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I mean, it ain't gonna come to it. They're scared to shit of us over there in Iran.
I'm not ready, by the way. I want to say clearly, I don't want.
Man, I thought we were ready.
I mean, I'm ready. We're ready to kill people when the situation comes, but I don't want it to come any sooner.
God damn it, Keegan.
I don't want it to come any sooner than it needs to.
I want a generation-defining war.
And I want to be a defining person in that defining war.
I just want to die.
I just want to die in an interesting way.
Sometimes you just need a good bullet to the head to wake you up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
or
I think
put you out.
bullet anywhere really could wake you up.
Yeah, in fact, most places aside from the head,
Yeah,
would wake you up.
Yeah, that's
really
the one
well.
that'll put you to sleep.
Yeah.
You want melatonin? Ah, shit! I did.
Yeah. Oh wait, we can't.
I don't know what I was even
do the
trademarking.
click. We disavow the click.
Oh,
Because and the reason why is because we are not suggesting in any way that anyone go and shoot themselves in order to fix their sleep deprivation.
God, yeah.
Please seek some like ZQL or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm glad you said that.
Get really, really drunk a lot for a long period of time. That's not negative. Yeah.
no, I mean, nothing helps my insomnia like a good Marlboro cigarette. Actually,
when you want to wake up in the morning, there's nothing like a bowl of meth that'll really get the pep in your step.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. For the
Fucking shit.
shit, the segment's still going.
That scared me. That legitimately scared me. That dog did just then.
On the for a statement that's not in the sake of a joke, I would say cigarettes induce my insomnia more.
Yeah, I would say that probably too. I've definitely stayed up to smoke a cigarette before.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, what am I getting off of this?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I guess it's already like lit and shit.
Yeah. You know what the saddest cigarettes are? The ones smoked in bed. Those just feel...
They don't feel earned.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Unless it's like after you get done scrogging real hard.
Well, yeah.
That's the different one. That's
totally
like the
different.
most satisfying cigarette.
Yeah. Wow. The two ends of the spectrum, both in the bed. It's not...
Or
It's not the bed. It's the what's occurring.
Yeah, like you could fuck in the kitchen and smoke, and it would be okay.
Yeah.
It would be just as good as like fucking in the bedroom and smoking.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could fuck in the bedroom, smoke in the kitchen, and it would still you'd be cold.
Yeah. I mean...
Well, I mean, you put a robe on or something.
turn the oven on.
Turn the oven on. Don't worry about putting clothes on. You go down there and turn that oven on.
And also figure out a way to fix your microwave to where it can also be a heating device. You can
my God.
figure out a way you can remove the door but still keep the microwave on, for heating.
Do not rig your microwave to run with the door on, please. We will get so many cancer lawsuits.
Good thing about that is they
Right.
can't directly prove it.
Randy Marsh with the big fucking bouncy balls. Can't get through the door at the fucking... Remember that on... Oh, yeah, watch South Park. That's such a iconic image to me that I can't imagine somebody not having it. So Stan's dad, in order to get medical marijuana, decides to stick his balls in the microwave and give himself testicular cancer.
Wow.
They become so big that it's like a hippity hop. And like all of the men in the town start doing it, and it's like dudes bouncing around on their junk.
Oh shit.
And then it gets to a point. And by the way, this dude's balls, they showed that on Comedy Central. I don't know, I guess it's because they're a cartoon. It's okay.
Yeah.
And because it's fucking ridiculous. But
the only thing that's not okay is Allah. Balls, okay. Allah, buzz.
they get so big, though, that he can't fit through the door of the weed clinic. So he has to do something. He has to cure his cancer.
Wait, he does what?
He has to cure the cancer he gave himself for weed, so that he can get in the weed store. At which point he wouldn't have cancer, by the way.
Okay,
He wouldn't get the weed.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I have been watching a little bit of South Park lately. I'm finally coming around to it.
It's very worth it.
I watched the pandemic special.
South Park has influenced my politics for probably more than any news show ever.
Yeah. It all feels very purposeful.
And relevant.
Yeah.
Like if somehow an episode from like the 99 will be like a brand new fresh take on something.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess it's because most of the times those takes are restricted. Like, for some reason, South Park has broken through all of the barriers that most TV or movies would dare try to even touch.
That's because they're not trying to be like a political party. They're trying to just talk about the literal issue and what the solution should be.
Yeah.
And like when you're on a party, when you're on like a team, you got to be like, well, what's the party say the best solution to this problem is?
Yeah.
What's the team say this is the best solution?
Does South Park focus more on the solution, or does it focus more on just the stupidity of the issue?
More on the absurdity of the issue on both sides.
Yeah,
which is another way that they're very effective.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Although they go pretty hard on Mr. Garrison whenever Mr. Garrison becomes Miss Garrison.
Oh.
There's an episode where there's a transition back because he decides he wants to be Mr. Garrison again. And so they have to grow a penis for him, and they grow it on the back of a mouse.
What?
And the mouse escapes the laboratory, and so there's just a dick running on the bottom of the screen in a bunch of these scenes, and he's trying to hunt down his penis. And it's one of the most fucking absurd things I've ever...
Yeah.
South Park is the most fucking absurd show I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the absurdity of it all.
Like, The Simpsons is a wacky show. Nothing on South Park.
Yeah.
Nothing that would happen on South Park would ever be approved for any of the other adult animation shows.
No, yeah.
And the amount of a million shits was pretty impressive too. Were they?
What is that?
They said shit on cable in the like 9 a.m. slot or something, like 10 p.m. slot, and they were going to say it through the entire episode, and so they did it. And they just didn't censor it. They were like,
wow.
Fucking shits, a bunch of shits.
Speaking of shits, one of the episodes I've watched recently, I've only watched like 3 or 4 since I started getting into it a little bit. But watched the episode about what's the dad's name? The same one that has
Randy?
Yeah, Randy. Randy takes the biggest shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, hot.
The fucking beginning scene of that episode was too real, because I've had shits like that before. They're like tear sweat inducing.
And you lift about 7 feet off the toilet, and that's the most. Oh my god.
Did you?
I did. I farted on the podcast.
That may be the first.
That's the first one.
The first audible one, at least.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be quiet. It wasn't. It was it was very dainty, though.
Yeah.
It was quite a little one.
Yeah, you know what? If you're going to rip a fart, it needs to be whole hog, or else.
I think if I went whole hog, I'd have shit my britches.
Yeah, don't go that whole hog. Yeah.
I've done that before. I was driving one time, and I was like, oh man, this is some foul. Whatever's about to happen here. And I was right, because I leaned up and just shit my pants.
Dude, I did that same thing. It was also in a car, except thankfully I was a passenger.
And you're driving.
But it's partly worse.
When I was driving like that.
Oh.
All lifted up off the seat.
Oh, yeah, dude. Me too. Oh, God. Fuck.
And then we stopped at this gas station with, and it was just full black dudes. And there was piss.
Oh, so
and I'm saying it was not white people pee, it was black people pee.
What
One of the only interactions.
Like? They eat a lot of asparagus or something?
No difference in smell, color, or anything like that. It's just not the way that I would choose to interact with a group that I rarely interact with.
True.
I hardly ever see black people. I don't want to be one of the few memories I have to be standing in a puddle of some random black dude's urine. If it had been R. Kelly's urine,
yeah,
I at least would have got a lawsuit out of it.
Or P. Daddy.
P. Daddy, man.
P. Daddy.
Oh shit. We
not to be confused with Puff Daddy. Yeah. What I had to do to solve my issue was actually quite passive. You had to deal with your issue much more head on. I pulled my shoes
off though, and that's why I stepped in it sock foot.
Oh, you stepped in pea sock foot?
Yeah. Yeah, just a big, like the most yellow urine. Somebody who had drank heavily the night before. Very bad kidneys on the guy whose urine I stepped in.
Oh man. Mine, I just had the people I was with go in Walmart and buy me a pair of shorts, and I just, hoped. And then I went in and wiped once I got the new shorts. I still felt gross until I got home and took a shower.
Yeah, you can't bounce back. There's no amount of toilet paper that can get all of the stuff off every crevice that you feel like it's in.
Yeah. Do you ever get, like, Thanksgiving yesterday, or yesterday. I knew I was going to be filling my belly with food. I had to shit a little bit. It wasn't crazy. It was like a 50%, or it was like, yeah, you can definitely feel like a rock in your stomach, like you got shit, but you can maybe hold it in
until you get done. We meal.
Yeah, but you don't want to. I don't like to pile. I don't like to reach 100% capacity for my shit level.
It's not a good idea. No. You wind up in some bad situations trying to get to a bathroom.
Yeah. So I took a shit before we went to Thanksgiving dinner, but as always, I was the one running behind. I was making everybody late because I wait last second to shower. I wait last second to put my clothes on. I have to smoke a cigarette. Whatever. Then I have to take a shit, and everybody's like, God, we know your shits are 30 minutes. Make it quick. I know from there it's not going to be a good shit. It's going to be bad afterwards because I never feel completed. If I take a shit and it doesn't feel complete, I wished I wouldn't have done it at all. And that was what happened. There's
no sense of relief if you don't, like, you feel like, oh, I feel worse than if I just held it.
Yeah. And on top of it, it was one of those, like you have an eraser in your asshole, like an open, like you keep wiping, but all around the sides, it's all good, it's all clean, even wipe it with baby wipes, it's all good. But when you get to the center, when you really get up in there, it's still there. When you get to the
core, there's that core of shit. And, maybe that's...
I had to continue on to Thanksgiving dinner with that core of the shit still there, because I didn't want to make them wait any longer. And my asshole felt greasy.
That's never good. That's never a good feeling.
But I wiped it as soon as I got to Grandma's house because I couldn't take it. I was like, I got to continue this journey here.
This is the most miserable feeling on the planet, probably, is greasy ass because you know you didn't wipe it good.
Oh, God, it's so horrible. I'm so glad you can agree.
Every man should only experience that a few times, but unfortunately, every man experiences that far more than a few times.
Yeah.
We don't plan. We're not like that. We don't think about things before we do it. We go at it whole hog.
Well, also, if you ever, like, when you take, like, it could be a common occurrence if you have bad toilet paper at your job. Like, if you spend, many hours a week at a place and there's bad toilet paper, then almost every time you wipe,
I know exactly
you're going to have greasy ass.
Talking about.
I just try to avoid shitting at work in general.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to do it. You got to adjust your routine.
It's not like going to shit at the house. There's planning involved with shit in public in general, but especially like at work.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about like people that you see every day who are going to go into that bathroom.
Yeah.
You wind up taking like, if you take a 30-minute shit at home, you probably take like a 45-minute shit at work.
Oh, so I'm opposite. I do, because I feel pressured to get off, as they say, shit or get off the pot,
Well, I will preferably always pick a standalone toilet in the bathroom. Like, if I can go to a bathroom with just one toilet. Now, if I'm in a place with stalls, fuck that. I'll shit outside. Not literally. I'll go to another place. I will not shit in a place where I'm sitting next to somebody else shitting.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I'll just not shit if there's somebody else in the stall, for sure. Yeah, we're not going to be buddies. I don't want to,
Little shoe under the door.
You can't even enjoy your own stench or some shit, You can't even do that, because how do you know you're not enjoying somebody else's,
You are.
For the record, I don't really enjoy my own scent. I just passively, I don't mind. When you get
done, you got to be like, oh, what'd I make?
Yeah.
What caused that?
But you're not like, it would be, you'd probably be a pretty broken person if you got disgusted by your own shit every time. So,
well, a little bit disgusted.
You can be a little.
If you're like me and you have the worst bowel movements of any human being on the planet, you can be a little bit disgusted every time.
Ooh.
Most of the
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
you would think that it's like, oh, he must take some monster shits, but it's like, I can't poop solid.
Oh.
I can't do that.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
I do that maybe once a week, twice a week.
So is it like, it's not complete liquid, right? It's more like the mushy.
Yeah, like Oh, I'm not going to describe it like that because that would be too real. Yes, it is like wet cement.
I mean, think of all the people out there who want to hear this while they're eating Thanksgiving leftovers.
Yes, it is like wet cement, and it pools at the bottom of the toilet, and then you flush, and it don't go nowhere. Yes, it is that. Roman concrete that dries underwater, by God.
Yes. Roman concrete that dries underwater.
Yeah, they had that shit back in ancient Rome. We can't make it no more. Concrete dries underwater, the Roman concrete.
I didn't really think about what I was saying when I repeated it back to you. Why can't we do it now?
I don't know. They put all kinds of crazy shit in it. We can't figure out what was working.
Why can't we...
They also kept it secret. They were like, we don't want to tell people what's in our concrete. And so it's like a trade.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody, and what they now theorize happened to ancient Rome and why it fell is because they were drinking water through lead aqueducts.
Okay, continue, but I have the biggest conspiracy theory.
Lead poisoning. They thought that pretty much the ancient Romans pretty much got A, inbred leaders, and B, lead poisoning for basically everybody.
What from?
From their aqueducts, the things that move their water around through the cities.
Yeah.
That they were so famous for because they used lead pipes.
Yeah.
And so, like, it was way, like, you wouldn't be able to wash a car with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucked up lead water.
I mean, there was a problem with that. Like, they banned lead and a lot of shit in, like, what, the 70s or 60s
they didn't know.
or something?
Before then, it was just metal.
Yeah. I mean, it was causing problems just being in paint or whatever.
I think that's what's been kind of wrong throughout most of human history is that we've kind of all been suffering from severe toxic chemical shock.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's likely. Seriously, what are all of the things around us that we don't take into account their danger?
Back in the day, you used to, like... back in like the 70s, kids used to play with mercury because it was a liquid metal. It was fun to play with.
That's so
Give you
hilarious.
fucking Mad Hatter's disease.
I love playing with lead. It's my favorite thing to play with now.
Remember those little metal toys that you get from the places? Little. They're made out of, I think, tin now or iron one. Those used to be made out of lead, little metal figurines.
Oh, like just toys, like action figures and stuff?
Make it out of metal, paint it.
Yeah, a lot of kids' toys were made with lead. Yeah.
And lead paint was, I mean, still kind of used in some places. You don't want to...
Damn. Well, okay. Here's my conspiracy theory, right?
Right.
I may have crawled up onto something here that's world-breaking. Ancient Egypt.
Yes.
Famous for slaves, right? And like...
Famous for slaves that it's not very clear that they had. The Jews probably weren't enslaved because we have records of like what the workers on the pyramids were paid and stuff. Like they were volunteer workers that were kept up by the government, basically.
Well,
the equivalent of like the Tennessee Valley Authority in the 1930s, but in ancient Egypt.
Well, slaves. There's a song.
No, I'm sure everybody had slaves back then.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
they didn't build the pyramids with them.
Yeah, they did.
They had them.
Yeah, they did.
They
Slaves
found
built
some,
pyramids.
they found some darker black people. A little bit darker.
No. Here's what I think. I think they found some slaves that were a little bit greener. I think that they thought, as you know, with the aqueduct or the concrete, they were like, we can't let people have this. This is a trade. They were like, we got some aliens that are damn good workers, but we can't let everybody else know that. We got to be the leaders of the alien slave trade.
Not that there were aliens. Everybody knew that, but that they were good workers because everyone thought aliens were lazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Aliens built the pyramids as slaves.
It definitely has merit.
Absolutely.
I mean, how else are you going to explain how they had that snake in that light bulb? Have you seen that where they're like, it's a light bulb? And it's like it looks like a fucking eggplant with a snake in it. It's supposed to be a lotus flower and the aroma coming off the lotus flower, and also the snake is supposed to be like to let you know that it's poisonous or some shit like that. I don't know.
What is that supposed to mean, or what did people interpret it as?
A lot of people in the Ancient Aliens community are like, that is a light bulb. They had light bulbs in ancient Egypt, and that's why there's no soot in the pyramids, because they didn't use torches, they used light bulbs.
Oh my god. Well, they did, because how many alien slaves does it take to install a light bulb, man? I mean, that's where the joke stems from.
It's so old that it comes from the ancient pyramids when they had light bulbs before they lost the technology.
Yeah, and sadly, really high up light bulbs, very hard to read, very tall aliens.
Very giant light, like you see pictures, like, you know, the aliens are big, that's why. But the light bulb's so big, man. Yeah. You have that picture of that dude holding it up.
Oh my god, yeah, that's what it is. Giant alien slaves that built the pyramids giants, easily.
Man. Hey, there was some giants.
What?
There was some fucking giants, man.
I thought people were shorter in general.
No, there was some fucking giants. The Native Americans talk about it all the time. Abraham Lincoln said
Bigfoot was an alien.
Abraham Lincoln said this country, which is this, that, and the other, from this area to that area to the hills where the giants are buried. It's like the fucking giants are buried. What? Can you rewind that, Abe, and dwell on that for a minute? And he's like, but it's like there's this. It was pretty common to believe that a race of giants lived in America at one point, based on a giant, what they took as burial mounds, which are like the buried the big hill, artificial hills and stuff the mound builders made.
I don't know.
Well, I think all that shit's giants.
Oh, well, my question is, I wonder how much height Abraham Lincoln was hiding underneath that hat.
He
was a giant
pointy
himself.
Fucking heads.
Cone heads.
Yeah, probably one of them pointy fucking heads, man.
God. To think our president, who was so beloved, was a conehead.
A Kentuckian being a fucking disgrace like that.
I know, it's disturbing, disgusting.
What if that was the immediate reaction people had when they discovered aliens? Is like just bigotry,
inherent like racism,
the most culturally accepted racism that's ever existed. Like it unifies humanity. You know,
racism
gross and
somehow racism unites our world.
That's how the world used to work.
We just need to expand. We need to find other planets with life so that we can hate them collectively as an Earth.
That's what fixed it in Star Trek.
Instead of hating each other.
That's what fixed it in Star Trek. They ran into all these aliens and they were like, "Hey, we don't like those fucking Klingons. Let's all come together to fucking hate those guys."
I mean,
Roddenberry was like, a future with peace, except everyone's at war in the cosmos.
Yeah, I mean, there is like the question that, you know, if aliens came down, would we unite or would we crumble, you know,
Oh, we'd be so fucked up.
Well, we'd be fucked up if they brought weapons out immediately,
yeah, if they come down here to conquer us, we're fucked.
Yeah, because the fact that they're here means they're far more advanced than we are. Probably have much better weapons.
They might have shitty weapons, but we would be so overwhelmed by it. We would be like, oh my fucking god, aliens!
We'd lose it. We'd lose
everybody would be screaming and running.
God, that's one thing that, like...
You hope they're not bad guys.
Honestly, I don't care what they are. I just hope I get to live to see it. That's really it.
You went in a completely different fucking direction than I thought you were going to. You're like, you know... Actually, they could mutilate me, but I want to know for
really?
Sure.
Yeah, I do.
I have the same opinion. Yeah. But I don't. But at the same time, I'm like, but if they're bad, then they kill all my family too. And that's why I'm like,
yeah, that's rough.
Damn it, my dog. Does it say something about my fucking mental health that I'm like, yeah, rip me to shreds, but when you start talking about my dog, man.
Yeah. No, I think that's quite normal, actually. For Americans, at least, not in, you know,
we're a
South
depressed
Korea
fucking country, ain't we?
Or China, or
to be as well off as we are, we sure fucking get low.
It's all the lead.
Lead. Have you ever seen? God damn! I hate to bring up the guy by name, but yeah, because it's going to make everybody's going to have an immediate reaction to it. But when Obama goes to Michigan during the Flint water crisis, and he takes the glass of water and he brings it up and he does like the Mark Zuckerberg thing and pretends to take a drink of it.
Yeah, the most inhuman sip.
Yeah, he was like, I ain't drinking that shit. Come on, Michelle, let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's go to what the fuck? What is it called? What's a popular burger joint West Coast?
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out.
Let's go to the In-N-Out.
Yeah, and yeah, because the other day I miss one of the biggest things I miss because of coronavirus is fast food, just food in general, restaurants. I miss it. I woke up the other day, I immediately thought, oh man, I want a good burger. And I looked up In-N-Out Burger.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Hell yeah, I'd take that. I'd take that right now.
Not that other restaurant next door that sells the weird laboratory meat.
Oh, yeah.
The movie? Good Burger, the movie?
Yeah, I love Good Burger. Yeah.
Great skip, but great movie too. Not often that happens.
But I spent my first hour of consciousness in my bed first looking at In-N-Out Burger on YouTube and then In-N-Out Burger Google results, which is how I found out Obama made an order at In-N-Out Burger, and that was somehow newsworthy.
The Obama order. It's like what McDonald's tried, except like way more West Coast.
Yeah. Fuck, dude. Oh my god. Oh, dude. What place will host the Trump Burger? That's what I want to know.
California used to be like synonymous with like the far progressive left, and now it's a synonymous with like out of touch elderly Democrats that wouldn't know how to crowdsource or crowdfund if it bit them in the ass. And it's real weird. California's kind of fallen in a lot of ways.
Well, I don't know if it's that they really feel that way, or if it's the options that have been presented to them that make them fall into that category.
Well, specifically, I mean like the political scene. Like the people in politics in California used to be like the cutting edge politicians that came up and tried to change things, and like a lot of conservatives came from there. Like Nixon and Reagan were both governors of California, and like it was the up and coming place. And there's the happening place, and now it's like the graveyard of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
It's like where Nancy Pelosi has gathered it all together. And
where is the up and coming place? Do we know right now? Is anything up and coming, or is it down and crumbling?
Kind of Texas.
Joe Rogan.
In a way. A little bit, yeah.
Counted at him.
A little bit, yeah. Mostly what it is people start realizing like those big cities.
Yeah.
And like the Democratic leaderships in those states, I always say that it works best when you've got like a federal government that thinks it should be strong, and a state government that thinks it should, or a state government that thinks it should be strong, and a federal government that thinks it should be weak. But California really tests that because they've got like the most liberal state government that I can think of, except for maybe like Oregon or Washington, somewhere like that. But they definitely run it into the ground over there somehow. Usually it's like social programs. Like that's why the Democratic Party always did so well at state level in Kentucky, is because they took care of poor people. And like in California, they're like, fuck, just step over the homeless.
Yeah. Well, you know what, man? This is what's the type of evidence that's like just your own like perspective on experience? What is that called?
What do you mean?
The word, it's like
evidence that your own.
It's not evidence that's like factual. It's just evidence that's based on your own. Whatever. It don't matter. There's no point in me even trying to fish for that word. The thing is, what I was gonna say is,
poor people.
Poor people.
Democrats with poor people step over the homeless.
Yes, I've noticed a lot more homeless people in our parts, even like within the last 6 months or so.
Yeah,
like I really have. Like I never even really thought about it, but like seriously, like the last few times I've went out into the town, like I have people come up to my car or see people that are asking for money or like are homeless.
There are, I think it was like 30 million open homes in America, just uninhabited. And by the amount that we increased the military budget last year, we could have taken all of those homeless people and put them in houses. Every one of them.
Yeah.
Solved it.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's necessarily solving it, though.
But what I'm saying
is... The homelessness is solved.
But you can't solve homelessness because some people will just choose to be transient.
Yeah.
But there's no lack of money causing us to not be able to do this. It's just lack of motivation and lack of willpower and lack of human decency. It's, the government in general don't really care about the people who don't have any political influence, and homeless people don't have any political influence.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess if they have documents, their vote is about all they have.
Yeah. I mean, how many homeless people get out and vote, though, you know?
Well, I assume if you have documentation and you're homeless, you're pretty well together mentally somehow, you know.
Oh, yeah, if you have documentation, yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, you're out here because you like the sky at night. You think park benches are comfortable.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Pack your social card with you everywhere.
I just participated in, what do they call those? Like a camp out? Like where all these fucking privileged people, like, put up a tent somewhere, like semi kind of not bad, but just not that nice outside, and like they do it for charity or whatever, where they're like, we're gonna try to put ourselves in the shoes of what it's like to be homeless. There's some man or woman out there who, you know, after I did that, I loved it. I just loved the homeless lifestyle, and I just decided that's what I wanted to do.
Well, I'll tell you, I will not say that being homeless is good. There is a freedom to it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There is definitely a freedom to it.
Yeah.
And it's like a sacrifice of like how you're perceived and your dignity in a lot of ways, and circumstances get rough and stuff, but there are people who genuinely enjoy not having anywhere where they call a real home, where the world is their home.
Yeah. I mean, and eventually, like, the amount of, like, whatever, like that word dignity, like, whatever that is, like, it could eventually lessen over time. Like, you could become more comfortable in that environment to where it's...
Pride is what I think you were looking for there.
I'm just saying, like, do you reach a point after a while where it doesn't feel as, like,
shameful,
damaging or shameful, and does it just become more routine, like going out and like asking for money? Or
well, I think it always becomes routine, but it's like, how much of that routine are you comfortable with? Because a lot of people will do stuff that they're not comfortable with routinely because they have to do them.
That's true.
Like, I hate dishes.
Yeah.
I wash the fuck out of them now, though, because I ain't got nobody to wash dishes for me.
Shitting for you.
That is true. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do not. That is an uncomfortable experience every time that happens.
But you gotta do it. Gotta do what you gotta do.
It's traumatic.
Just like the homeless who have to shit in the streets, man. They gotta do it. They gotta do it.
Or on your car.
Or into the palm of their hand where they can throw it at passerby.
Or right directly next to the entrance to a store because they wouldn't let them use the bathroom.
Right.
Which, by the way, if you've got a bathroom in your store and a hobo walks in, and should I say hobo? Yeah, a hobo walks in, and you're like, no, you can't use the bathroom. Find a corner. You deserve to have your store shit in front of.
That's true. That's true.
You're a pretty awful human being if you won't let a hobo take a shit in your bathroom.
Well, but
he might be. You might be like, he's gonna go in there and shoot up. But what a fucking asshole to assume that about.
Yeah.
I mean, he was definitely going to do that, but you shouldn't make assumptions about people like that.
This is, I don't want to make the argument that, we should fucking treat homeless people like animals or whatever, but I seen...
it's going to a good place when that's how it starts.
Yeah. Well, it's actually not anywhere near that, but there was this like coffee shop where like they didn't care like about homeless or whatever, and I'm sure there's some places that care more than others, but apparently this place was like pretty lenient, and like this homeless woman got in.
They didn't care if you were homeless.
Yeah.
I thought you meant they didn't care about the homeless, and then you were like, and I like they don't give a shit about them.
Oh yeah, no, they were.
And I was like, I think a lot of businesses. You were like, and I'm sure some of them care more than others. And I was like, I'd say there's a lot of businesses actually that don't give a shit about the homeless.
Yeah. They didn't care to let homeless people in, and I think they like gave them free stuff every now and then or something. It was just like a news story I seen, but yeah, this homeless person like fucking splattered her coffee on the waitress, and it was like this, big deal, of course, because when you throw fucking hot coffee on somebody, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of the homeless people suffer from mental illness. That's not checked for at all. If anything, the only way that it's checked is by doing drugs, and if you don't have access to drugs, instead of shitting on the street corner, you can shit into a fucking pot and cook it up on a fire in an alleyway and huff it or something. But
I didn't expect him to cook it.
Well, yeah, that's how you get the good high juices.
I had a lot of cigarette smoke in my lungs whenever that happened, and I almost just gagged everywhere. It would have been terrible for every listener if I'd have done it, but it caught me so fucking off guard that he cooked it.
Yeah. I am not giving a good reputation for the homeless at all. But
I don't think that they. I don't think that A, number one, they're never going to hear this, but B, I don't think they give a shit that much.
Well, it's like we were saying, like you reach a point where
eventually, if you keep saying that shit, some white women are going to get very angry at you and come and cancel us.
That's true. God, I mean, it goes without saying, but Jesus Christ, I don't want people to be homeless. I don't want people to be out on the streets and not meet their fucking basic needs.
Once I put that fucking hashtag comedy on these videos.
Yeah, but my point is, it's a fucking complicated issue. It's a super complicated issue. Like you were saying earlier, you can give these people a house, but some of these people are the type of people who will throw coffee at a waitress's face. And some of them are drug users.
Or just too mentally ill, too.
And
living at home by themselves.
And those problems have to be solved also,
Well, that's why Kennedy... and don't get me wrong. Before Kennedy did this, we had probably the most fucked up psychiatric healthcare system in the fucking... Aside from places where they just didn't have it or they fucking killed you or whatever.
Yeah.
But the asylums that we had were fucking awful. We need some again. We need some. Because the way that it is in America right now, basically, if you're too crazy to go to the doctor... If you're too crazy to go to the mental doctor to get your help, then you're basically just a street person. There's no support network for you, no help for you. If you don't have family that cares about you, and you don't have the ability to keep your doctor's appointments and go to the doctor and stay on your meds. And by the way, bipolar people and schizophrenic people are terrible at staying on their meds. Probably the majority of the homeless population that's mentally ill is bipolar and schizophrenia. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about that. That's a general statement that I may be wrong about, but it seems that way, don't it, bro?
Well,
bro. I don't know why I turned into a fucking Scandinavian dude when I said that.
Well, I think it's like, not every homeless person is mentally ill, but there's a higher chance of you being mentally ill if you're homeless. Not because of the homelessness, but because of the fucking mental illness.
I have a conspiracy. Are you ready for my conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
I think everyone in the world is mentally ill.
To some capacity, I agree with that.
I think the people who are very normal are more fucked up than anybody. I think there's some shit going on in those people's heads.
What? The people who
are very, very normal and well-adjusted?
Well, I mean, we know for sure from a lot of different
Well, look at
pieces of evidence.
Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Who's more well-adjusted than Ted Bundy?
I mean, being a fucked up person and doing fucked up things is a great driver to seem normal.
People do fucked up shit all the time.
I mean, think of how many people... I mean, you know, even on a smaller level, not killing people, but every day we're only pushing ourselves to be more quote-unquote normal based on our own insecurities.
Right.
And, like, how we perceive ourselves. Like, most of people's normalcy comes from, you know, what they think normalcy is based off of their, like, the things that they have to cover up for in themselves.
Whenever you're insecure, I think that's like I think that all the mental illness comes from the fact that we are now in a lot bigger social groups than we used to be in. Because even without social media, just the way that we have, even if you don't live in a city in Eastern Kentucky, you still, in order to tell people where you would live, you'd probably tell the closest town, right? And that's pretty normal. What isn't normal is going to that town every single day. Because used to, you had general stores where you lived and you had your little community set up and there were jobs in that community. And now all the jobs have kind of centered on one place. Everybody works in the same spot.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And that's a lot of pressure.
I thought you were going in the direction of, like, you know, mental illness is almost just what is perceived to be a mental illness is, like, based on culture. And, like, the culture of the town that you're in, or at least, you know, maybe the city that you're in is different from another city that you go into, so the perception is different. That's where I thought you were going.
I would say almost the opposite of that culture can only not recognize mental illness. Like, it won't create a new mental illness. Like, a lot of cultures, like, a lot of mentally ill people have been diagnosed with demonic possession, for instance. Like, that's not mental illness, but it's totally mental illness.
Yeah.
But we're much worse for excluding stuff. I won't talk about the major exclusions that we have right now from the DSM. There's just a lot, though. A lot that people, I think people, like, the default mode for people is sick, corrupted, and dying. I don't think people are usually on the up very, very well.
Well, what do we think about the labels? Like, you know, mental illness, whatever it may be, is at a point, like, something that we categorize. And it's not necessarily, you know, though it is precise, it's still abstract in a certain way. What, you know, characterizes what specific mental illness you have. I wonder if it has an effect, you know, around here with something like depression or whatever. Like, the perception in rural America, as far as I know, is that it's like, you're not depressed, just you know, put your boots on and keep moving.
Because everybody's depressed down here.
Yeah.
Well, and really, if you want to get to the heart of that problem, it's not really a depression problem. It's... Jordan Peterson talked about how a lot of people confuse having a really horrible life and being in dire circumstances and having terrible things happen to you constantly is like depression. Mm-hmm. And that's not the same thing at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of people around here are depressed because of bad circumstances in their life, not because they have a chemical imbalance.
Yeah.
And
good point.
But I don't think, though, that it's... I don't think it's the illness part that is stigmatized so much. I think it's the mental part. I think that because it's not controversial to say everybody gets physical illnesses. It's not controversial to say that everyone has physical illnesses.
Yeah.
It is very controversial to say everybody has mental illnesses because you want to appear sane and competent, and that's one of the most important values in our society is to be reasonable and competent and and intelligent too. A lot of people want to always seem like the smartest dude, and it's not about like an ego thing necessarily so much as it is like a self-preservation thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that, I think it's like everybody wants to put mental illness off as something that they couldn't have because they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we don't judge somebody's value based on if they have a physical illness or not. Like, you don't say that person is less than that other person because they have cancer.
Yeah.
But we do that with mental illness.
To claim having a mental illness may say something about your work ethic or about your intelligence, or
particularly when people talk about, a lot of people think that people who talk about openly about having issues with depression or anxiety are kind of lazy or weak.
Mm-hmm. It's like the perception is that it's an excuse.
Yeah.
For
a crutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that goes along with like that rural thinking of like, you know, just stop sitting around and blaming your bad work ethic on depression and just get up in the morning and go. But it's like, it's not that easy, you know.
Or if you're anxious, it's like you're worrying over nothing. Get out there, you feel better. Mm-hmm. And that, to a certain extent, that's true. If you get out there, you will feel better. If you do the work, you will feel better to a degree. And you can improve your mental health through stuff like that. Hard work and dedication are a good way to do it. But it's hard to sell somebody when they feel like they're in a pit of despair. When you're like, well, I know you're in a super deep hole, but here is like a sand shovel, and now you have to dig out of that.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere.
Or it's like an old car. It's like it has trouble starting up. You know, once it gets started, like, it rolls pretty good, but the starting up process is what's difficult, and that's what the actual getting up and going out and doing things really comes down to. Is can you get the car to start?
And that's probably a more accurate depiction of what it is, because when you're trying to get that motivation, that initial motivation to do something, when you're trying to get yourself to clean your room or to go to work or to whatever, the hardest part about that is getting into that rhythm in the first place.
Yeah.
Once you're in there, you're fine.
I think that's why it's important to start small.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people.
Well, that's kind of the sand shovel, though. That's what, and you have to do it. You have to do it that way.
It's true, man. That's true. Yeah, you got to dig with the sand shovel for a while. Yeah,
and it's going to take forever, but you will make progress.
Yeah,
and you will get out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, unless you're just stupid about it. Unless you're just like you're digging it and you're like putting it on your feet and burying yourself up to your waist or something.
Yeah, well, people are doing that because they're not they don't educate themselves on the foundations. Like, you know, if you have abstract goals or distant goals or goals that are difficult to accomplish, you're always going to be breaking your own heart.
Yep.
You're always going to be like, God, why am I not there yet? Well, it's like, man, set a smaller goal that you can achieve in a few weeks. That way you can see the progress, be proud of yourself, and let that be your booster instead of having a goal that's so ridiculous or abstract that you never reach it and give up before you do.
Well, another thing, people around our age especially are really anti-medicine for some reason. They're pro-drugs, anti-medicine. Mm-hmm. And SSRIs are very beneficial for that particular kind of depression that we're talking about. You don't have to take them your whole life. Mm-hmm. You take an SSRI for a little while you're trying to get your life in order and get off of it.
Yeah. I really think that's how those drugs should be used.
Yeah.
I think they should almost always be a buffer if possible. I mean, there are some things that, like, but I mean, specifically with like SSRIs or whatever, yeah, like I think for the most part, it should be to little help getting the car started or a little help getting the digging.
And if you've got a condition where you have to take them every day, where you have a genuine chemical imbalance, that's good too, because at least you know what's wrong and you can do something about that. Like if everything in your life is good except you're depressed all the time, then you probably have a chemical imbalance.
Yes.
That's not likely to be circumstantial.
Yeah.
Unless you're just lying to yourself about everything in your life.
Yeah. Which a lot of people do.
Some people do, yeah. Some people do that as well. It's a hard problem because you got to be honest about it to talk about it, and people very rarely are honest about their problems. Everyone wants to seem strong and capable.
Yeah. And also just some people don't know honestly what their problems even are.
Yeah. A lot of people will tell themselves that they're being weak or stupid or lazy or etc. when they have mental illness. Mm-hmm. Because it's just culturally ingrained in their head to not... And that's why I say culture doesn't invent new mental illnesses. Like, they won't diagnose somebody with something that's not real. They'll just choose to ignore something that's real.
That's exactly right.
Or they'll have a broader term. Like some stuff is... Like... There used to be a thing called mental retardation, which is now just... Everything's broad spectrum autism.
Yeah.
So they're denying all of the unique forms of autism because it's all on a broad spectrum. Mm-hmm. That's like denying that heterosexual and homosexual exist because sexuality is on a spectrum.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense. Like if gender is on a spectrum too, male and female do still exist. They're the separate ends of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. It's like Asperger's exists. Asperger's is not a fake thing that we didn't understand it, right? We actually had a better understanding of it when it was Asperger's. Because now when you say autism, nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But there's so much nuance in every situation that needs to be accounted for. But
science, though, I think, has a problem of trying to bend to society.
There were... I think the two terms that whenever, back during the times with the asylums and all the fucking insanely terrible mental health conditions in America, I think the two terms were idiots and lunatics.
Morons as well.
Morons.
Yeah.
I mean, I would much rather be on the side where we have a broad spectrum of what autism is that may be a little more confusing than to just be like, you either an idiot, lunatic, or moron.
Well, back in those days, though, that was the clinical term they had, and it broadened and eventually it got so broad that it defied any definitions, and that's when you've gone too far.
Yeah.
When it's so broad that you can't define anything anymore.
Yeah.
Then that's that really defeats the point of having scientific discussion about it at all.
Yeah.
And it's particularly bad in the colleges and academia right now, like treating science like it's treating science like Catholics treat the Bible. Like it's like it's more like a guide,
Yeah.
It's more like a guide. You don't have to actually listen to it. You just do the best you can.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I do think... anything with humans is complicated, just because, and mental health is such a difficult thing to make scientific because so much of the data is qualitative rather than quantitative in a way. Like, it's harder to pin humans down to like numbers and statistics, especially like making the right call as to what like thing they fall in or what number, whatever the number is representing.
Right.
Because I mean, you can sit down and have a conversation with somebody and you might not learn anything. You might get a hint. You might have a strong feeling. You might look at the DSM and say all these things add up, but it might not be right. So I mean, or it might even there are all of the thing is we don't have all the data. We don't have all the answers. Mm-hmm. And the answers are difficult. I think that's
pretty much impossible, really, because we keep getting new information that throws everything that we previously established out the window.
Yeah.
And then you have to build from ground up again, and really that's what's attempting to happen right now.
Yeah,
but
right. That's what I was gonna say. Is it's a part of the process.
But you have to be very careful when you build something up from the ground, because you might wind up with one of them real fucked up looking. You ever seen how like over the years in Egypt, like Egypt kind of is weird because like everything's good built at the beginning of it. And then as you go along through time, it gets shittier and shittier, and you've got like a few like kind of half-did pyramids where they're like, oh, we fucked up. We fucked up on this one. All right, let's try it again. They did it once, god damn it. We can do it again.
They did that really? Like there were
there were
pyramids throughout different periods.
In Egypt, you have what's called the Old Kingdom, and then you have what's called the New Kingdom. And when we think of ancient Egypt, the way that we think of it generally, we like pyramid building and the Sphinx and all that in the biblical days, that was the Old Kingdom. And when we think, and like Cleopatra and the Roman occupation and the Greek occupation of, or not Greek occupation, but the Roman occupation and the Greek influence on Egypt happened more like in the New Kingdom. Okay. And as you go from the Old Kingdom to the New Kingdom, the architecture gets a lot more simple and a lot less well built. So like they had all this knowledge and then they lost it over time.
That's why they call it modern art, because it's simplistic.
Oh my god, man. When I think about what it could have been like if like Rome had never, like, remember we talked about the lead pipes and stuff and the lead poisoning, and to think like what if that had never ended? Like what if Rome was still around to this day? The Ottoman Empire was still here until like 1917 or some shit like that.
Yeah. What is the Ottoman Empire exactly?
It was like the big it was, you know what a caliphate is? Because we use that a lot now, modern, and we kind of think of terrorism when we think of caliphate. But what a caliphate is a Muslim empire. So you would have a cal, and he's the like the word Khal Drogo.
Yeah.
You would have a cal, and he would be, or a caliph rather, and he would be or a khalifa as a woman, I think is what it is. But the caliph, you would have the. Fuck, I just said the word. Caliph.
I love that new video, by the way, of
Caliph.
Mia Khalifa and Holly Hatchet. But what?
And it was just a Muslim where it's like a theocracy, like a theocratic empire in the Middle East, run by Islam, is a caliphate. And so what ISIS wanted to do is they wanted to establish a caliphate. And the last caliphate that was successful was the Ottoman Empire, which lasted for a very, very, very long time. Hundreds and hundreds of years. I think the Ottoman Empire started like in 800 AD. So really, really, really long time. Till World War I. They were on the bad guy side in World War I, the Ottoman Empire. And then we broke it up, and they haven't been able to reestablish a caliphate, and that's what the main conflicts in the Middle East are over right now, is who is in charge of, who can successfully conquer the Middle East without really institute their view of an Islamic caliphate without causing complete nuclear war and destroying all the resources.
So it's like a way to spread your beliefs or whatever in a way that isn't directly taking over place by place, but instead like instilling those values in other places.
No, you directly take it over place by place.
Oh, okay.
But you once you take it over, you install that government where
Okay.
Preferably, you are the caliph.
Okay, so that's like in a nutshell.
It's
what
Muslim
it is just
world takeover.
Okay.
It's like what Germany, when Hitler took over, he said that the Holy Roman Empire was the First Reich, and then that the Second Reich was the was it Prussia? And then his was going to be the Third Reich. And so a Reich was like a German version of what a caliphate, or a caliphate is like a, not German, sorry, Nazi, sorry, difference. But a Reich is like a Nazi version of a caliphate.
Yeah.
Just a giant zone where your party is in control and nothing else can be. Well, boys, my alarm interrupted us.
What's that alarm for?
Medicine that I ran out of many, many months ago.
Months ago!
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know that you do that. Like, you set alarms for, like, brushing your teeth, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not anymore. Now I just do it whenever I can in the kitchen.
Okay, good. I guess that's an upgrade. I can't, like, make too much fun, though, because I struggle with that on a smaller scale. Because I have trouble waking up, I'll set alarms for, like, a 2-hour period. Like, slowly getting more and more close together. So I'll start at, like, 9, let's say. Say I set an alarm for 9 a.m. It'll be 9:30. 9, and then 9:30, and then 9:45, and then 10, and then 10:10, and then 10:20, 10:25, 10:30, 10:35, 10:40. And I will spend my whole first few hours of being awake just letting those alarms go off and stopping them as they come, instead of just taking the time to go in and stop all of them from occurring.
But it's kind of easier.
What?
You got to push 2 more buttons if you go in there and turn them all off at once.
You got to push a lot of buttons.
I
got to scroll, press, scroll, press, scroll, press, scroll, press.
That's true. I ain't counting scrolls.
Yep. Scroll. I mean, there's no harder work than scrolls. I mean,
there's no more impractical way to store information than in scrolls. You ever seen the Dead Sea Scrolls?
No.
They're like literally just like scrolls. They're all dilapidated as fuck. They were in a cave, and so they're supposed to be well preserved.
Yeah.
And they're real fucking tattered. And I'm like, that's well preserved. I'd hate to see what the other what are you finding? Like fibers of paper generally that used to be a sheet, and now it's just like a reed.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you said the Dead Sea Scrolls, I've never really seen them that I can recall, but what I immediately
the fucking name of them, it's
yeah.
like it screams decrepit.
Like it crunches as it opens, kind of like.
They're unrolled.
Oh,
they're unrolled because they couldn't. I assume that if they ever rolled them back up, that they just start ripping.
Yeah.
It's not a pretty sight though. It's really, really, really
terrible way to store information.
Paper is really inefficient.
Yeah.
Do you think they had this conversation back in the Old Kingdom and they started storing all their information on those tablets with those fucking light bulbs that they had and shit? And then that's how they lost it, like just data crash one day, all of it.
Yeah. Here we are, like.
That's what's going to happen to us.
Yeah.
You know, like in 30 years, there's going to be a coronal ejection, and we're going to get like our entire electric grid fried.
Yeah.
All of our art, all of our culture is just going to be wiped out in one swift go.
Damn. Maybe.
And it's because, you know why? There's no incentive to safeguard against it, even though it would only cost like a few $1 billion. It only costs like a couple $1 billion to.
Like, what do you mean? Like to back up the whole like internet or something?
No,
is that what you're saying?
To ground the power grid in a way that would make it impervious to coronal ejection.
What is coronal ejection exactly?
Mass energy ejections from the sun.
Okay. When what's the chances that's going to happen?
Happens. I mean, it happens. It's not on any particular timetable. Usually a long time in between it, but it happens. It's been like 10, 12,000 years since the last time it happened.
I mean,
back before people had, coincidentally, like right at the start of the Old Kingdom, if you believe Graham Hancock. So maybe fucking fried the electric grid. Maybe there's something to that.
I mean, yeah.
And if we start finding copper wires in fucking Egypt, we know what happened.
All the pictures of the fucking alien slaves from Egypt are on ancient Instagram, and they all got erased. I mean, they were taking pictures with them and everything. Aliens were the shit. They actually thrived on social media. That's why there's
me the most is what they did to Alien Vine.
I know.
That was the biggest tragedy.
It really is. I mean,
now all they have is Alien TikTok, and it's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's sort of similar. It's not.
Yeah.
You can't delude yourself into thinking you're back on Alien Vine.
No, that's really probably the biggest tragedy of ancient Egypt is the fact that ancient Vine got replaced with ancient TikTok.
I think what they actually blame it on, because there is an actual reason why people say that this happened to Egypt. There's this group of people that come in the Bronze Age. There's this period in history called the Great Bronze Age Collapse. Mm-hmm. And it's when Egypt kind of fell from grace. And it's these people who we only know as the Sea People. We don't know where they're from. We don't know who they are. We don't know who they became today. But they come in and fuck Egypt's world up.
Wow. So we don't know anything about them.
No fucking idea. Zero clue. Because Egypt, the way they tell history is very Egypt-centric. In all their old writings and stuff. And so you hear about these Sea People, but they're like, and then the Sea People show up. Don't worry about them. They suck. They fucked our shit up real bad. I don't like talking about them.
Don't want to name names. Don't want to give them, I don't want to give the fucking Sea People the credit. I don't even want people to know who fucked us up. I just want them to be known as the Sea People.
That could have even been like the words. That probably is not true. I was about to say the words that they used for seeing people could have been the fucking name of the thing. We might just be extrapolating from that, but then I was like, no, that'd be weird if people is in the name. Just happenstance.
Well, that would be a great way to name something if it's really aliens, because then you throw everybody off the trail. The Sea People couldn't be aliens. It says
instead
people.
Of space aliens, the Sea People. It was all an elaborate ruse.
They landed in the sea. The aliens landed in the sea.
You know about USOs, don't
UFOs float. What? You
undersea object, unidentified faring object, or
ooh, oh my, dude. You know what? Just the thought. My immediate thought of that is more scary than UFO.
Like if it's up here, it's a UFO, and if it goes down here and goes in the water, it's a USO.
Yeah.
At that point, and that's about as common as UFO sightings. They go in the water.
Well, it's creepy, man. The fucking ocean is insane. Yeah. Really, miles and miles of nothing but water, and that to me.
What if Atlantis is still a fucking thing, and that's what these fucking aliens are? Is just Atlanteans. They're like, oh, they're so funny on land. They haven't figured out that near the thermal vents down here you get all the energy you need and no fucking waste products. And they don't know how to make bubble cities yet. They're cute, really.
Yeah.
When you get down to it. Surface people.
And every time, like, there's some aliens that get excited when they see a dead body floating down. They're like, oh my God, a person! Oh.
They're not aliens. They're Atlanteans.
They're dead.
They're people. Sorry. They're human beings.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. And we discredit them because they can't message us on Instagram because they don't have electricity.
They don't want to.
Like, they haven't invented.
They're like, have you seen these fucking guys? I don't want to talk to them.
See what this does to them?
They kill the fuck out of everything. Down here we skim fish and we're able to feed our entire fucking society. They kill whole cows and just let giant sections of them go to waste as like weird leather. I don't know. Yeah. I've never eaten a cow. I live under the water.
Yeah.
We should go out in our Atlantean UFOs and get some cows. And that's how the cow abduction started. They were just talking shit about us one day and they were like, we should try that cow.
That's right.
And that's why it's always mutilated in some weird way, is because they're not really sure what parts to use.
Yep.
They're like, cut a hole in its ass and reach in there and grab some organs and
crop circles are just their very strange way of collecting.
No, that's the aliens.
Oh, okay.
That one really is the aliens.
Okay, that one's
it's once it's done, it'll spell "fuck you, Egyptians." We got our freedom. Now you're dead, bitch.
Oh my God.
Love aliens.
Oh my God, that's what it turns out to be. It's the fucking aliens come back. And not only do we find out...
They call themselves aliens, by the way. I confirmed that. Love aliens.
Yeah. they come back. It's not only a shock that they arrive, but it's an even more shock that they once had dealings with Egypt. And that's who their anger is directed at. And as countries, are we going to defend Egypt, or are we going to let them be obliterated off the map of the earth?
Wouldn't that be so depressing if the aliens were coming back all the time to Earth, but it was literally just a petty attempt to write a big fuck you message across the entire planet?
Yeah.
And, like, they have no other interest in us whatsoever.
Yeah.
They're just like, fuck you, we're better than you now.
Yeah. That's like their favorite thing is to be like, they don't know if we're real or not. They don't know.
That is the greatest conspiracy idea I've ever heard.
Yeah.
The aliens are fucking with us this whole time.
Yeah.
Like, you know what would be funny? What would really get, like, show ourselves to some people, but always pick, like, really fucked up rednecks.
Yeah.
Like, people nobody, no credibility.
Yeah.
But just reveal yourself wholeheartedly to them. Take them up in the spaceship, show them around and stuff.
Yeah.
They get back there. Look on the fucking people's faces when they're getting strapped into those chairs for the lobotomies.
That's what they do is, after the lobotomy, they, like, put a camera in you so they can see, you know, when you get back,
I thought that was
the reaction.
One they put up the... I thought that was the one they put in the...
Oh, in the booty hole? Maybe they just really want to see.
That's just for pleasure. They don't...
Yeah.
There's no work involved.
It's not even
there.
a working camera.
They just like fuckering us. They just like buggering the shit out of us.
Yeah. They're doing a pretty good job at it.
That fucking E.T. sticks his long finger up there.
Yeah. Lights it up.
Lights it up. You've got like a red patch in your stomach.
Yeah, because
where the light's coming through.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Until you realize he fucking ripped through your intestines to get it up there to your stomach. Ouch.
What was that?
E.T. saying ouch from that episode of Family Guy where it's Peter gets prostate exam.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And everything he sees on TV is like Freddy got fingered and
yeah.
E.T. going, ouch.
Yeah. And he keeps having like the
flashbacks with the
black and white flashbacks of the fucking sea people.
AKA
pirates.
Quagmire asked
AKA
him,
pirates.
Are you sure it was Are you sure it was like that? Are you sure it wasn't all black and white and evil?
Yeah. Are you sure, Peter? Are you sure it wasn't all black and white and evil and everything? Oh my God! On second thought, it was. And he imagines the Doctor as fucking having a pirate hat and a hook hand.
That's basically what happened to that Montessori back in like the 90s. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. When they got like all those kids to be like, yeah, they molested us in satanic rituals in the back of the Montessori. These 50-year-old women.
Yeah. Like are you talking about like the ability to like plant false memories in people?
Yeah, well, it wasn't even that they planted false memories. It was like they were leading the kid. They were like, so did they touch you anywhere? Where did they touch you? Did they touch you here? And then they're like, yep, they touched me there. I didn't know that's what you wanted, but now I know that's what you want me to say, so I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
Just don't get me in trouble.
Yep. Yeah. That was on that. Yeah, I mean, that's really fucked up. I mean, it's those people's goals to convict you. You know, it's somebody's goal to convict you, and if it's somebody's goal to convict you, or to make you seem like a victim, they're gonna ask biased questions.
We'll think too. I mean, you're thinking about little kids getting hurt. Like you're really if you think that's going on, you're really motivated to get those sons of bitches. Mm-hmm. It's not like playing a game anymore. You're saving people at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, you can even tell yourself that you're doing it for the fucking greater good.
Yeah.
And you might convict somebody who is totally innocent.
Well, they weren't doing this on purpose. They were asking the kids questions like, did they touch you? Did they touch you here? Did they touch you there? And they're like, yeah. You just whatever, just let me go home.
Yeah.
To my parents. I'm 5 years old.
Yeah.
Just whatever you say.
Yeah.
And they were like, man, these kids... This is insane. We can't believe this is happening. These children, every one of them, when we ask them if they touch them on their pee-pee parts and tell them they can't leave until they answer us, they all say that they did it.
Yeah.
It's like torture. Like, you know, when you're torturing somebody and they're like, they say, well, torture's actually ineffective because they'll just admit to anything, even shit they didn't do.
Yeah.
In order to quit the torture.
Yeah.
Case in point, a bunch of witches in Salem that are admitted to be witches because they thought God at least will end.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's so dark.
Well, fucking Giles Corey is my favorite, though.
Oh,
the
yeah.
fucker with the pressed one, the one they
He's
pressed.
the hero, man.
That's the most badass American quote anybody ever had.
More rocks.
More weight.
More weight.
Even heavier quote.
Yeah.
Even heavier quote.
God, that makes me that really, like, makes me feel empowered. It really does.
Because whenever there's
he was an old man, too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was probably in serious fucking pain to be an old man getting crushed with weights, and you still have the balls.
When you're an old man, though, you're like, how much longer do I got? You know, I'm probably dead next week anyway. Go ahead, crush me. Fuck you.
Yeah, that was the attitude, really. It wasn't like a rebellious more weight. It was like, more weight. Like, come on, go ahead.
I haven't felt anything below my left knee in fucking 17 years. I can take this one. Giles Corey. Well, I guess that's a good place as any to end this place.
I think so. Yeah, at least we can end on a
very depressing and somewhat fucked up and morbid note.
Yeah.
It's appropriate.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to actually move towards the end for the last, 3 topics, or at least thought about how to, but they've all kind of been in that same vein, so I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you just took one. We might not ever reach it.
Well, that's my main thing that I do is just whenever I'm getting really cold, I just go, hey, let's end this shit real quick.
Yeah.
I've been able to see my breath forever.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like that when we came over here, and now it's been going for a while that I can see my breath.
It could be in part to the cigarette smoke floating.
No, it was definitely some... Because no matter how much I do, I never run out of it.
Yeah. Well...
Wouldn't it be great to have that problem with drugs? No matter how much I do, I never run out of it.
Well, there's a debate about whether that would be a good thing or a bad. Really good at being a drug, really bad at being a good thing.
Well, yeah, you're right. Drugs are bad. Everybody, drugs are bad. Police, drugs are bad. If you hear us, we're telling you right now, drugs are bad.
Oh,
we don't do any of that. And we don't encourage our readers, apparently, our listeners to do that either.
That's right. So
they do it all by themselves.
Yes.
Without any guidance needed.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
And have a great night or day.
And happy late Thanksgiving.
Happy late Thanksgiving.
Early Christmas.
Yes.
We'll be back, though.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
See you next time.